Hi folks, hope you're well. This video is concerning the fence. There's a lot of people that think that they're sitting on a fence between God's kingdom and the world. So therefore have one foot in each. Or more to the point, one leg in each, one arm, one leg, blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. The problem is that fence is not in the middle. The devil cons people into thinking that fence is right in the middle of the two kingdoms. But it's not. The fence was never in the middle. It's a con. It's a con that makes people think just before they can die, they can jump off the fence into God's side. But you can't jump that far. In the past, I have said, and wrongly said, that the problem with that is that God won't pull you into his kingdom, but a devil will pull you into his. And tonight I realised, no, he doesn't need to. All he needs to do is make you think that that path is in the middle. But that's the first mistake. The path is nowhere near the middle. So yeah, it's not possible for you to be, sit on the fence between the two. Because the fence is not between the two. And so all these pastors that are trying to balance the reality is, we could be dramatic here, we can say they never had a chance because that would be true, but they never wanted one. They never wanted one. If you are trying in it, as I say, if you are trying to people please, you are not of God, you're of this world. The reality is, most people in church, they won't speak truth because they know that truth could offend. But what they do not understand is the truth will set you free. And the truth is incredibly important because there are people in church who have a lot of baggage. And the truth is supposed to help them let go of that baggage. But if you don't talk truth, they have to carry that all the way. Therefore, you don't care about the people. You don't care how they are or anything. So therefore, if you cared about people, you will help them to deal with their issues. But therefore, you have to talk about issues, and you can't do that. You can't tell people they're wrong. You have to make excuses for them. Like the woman I met on Wednesday, the pastor, when I said about the people in the River Church who believed that when the Queen died that the church didn't have a head anymore, she started talking about, well, what they meant was that we didn't now have a representative in Parliament. Because the Queen was a very good representative, apparently. Yeah. And she said, well, people were worried that Prince Charles wouldn't be as good a representative because he would accept all religions. No, people confuse the fact that because the Queen is the figurehead of the C of E Church, She's often referred to as the head of the church because Henry VIII considered himself as to be the head of the church. So therefore, people still believe the king or queen are the head of the church, the whole church, which is nonsense. Never has been the case. But it's something that had to be taught to people, that Christ is the head of the church. And as I say, the worrying thing isn't that people believed that the Queen is, it's the fact that they were never taught she wasn't. They were never taught that in all the years they've been in church. They were never taught that Christ is the head. They were never taught that. They have their own Bibles and never actually read it, or if they did read it, they certainly never took any notice of it. That is a concern. But, yeah. So instead of telling people they're wrong, you have to make excuses up. You have to try and, create reasons why they would think that way for another reason. Yeah. And, yes, of course, there are people, leaders in church that are very good at that. Yeah, like Jeff Oakes saying that when that person was speaking, what he meant was, excuse me, you are the pastor of a church, you say that person should be preaching on a day that you're not there. You pick that person. But that person couldn't actually say what they meant. And you think that's okay? You think that, you want people to go to church, and actually, again, the people said he did a bloody good job. But if he couldn't actually say what it meant, he did not do a good job. So why are the people in that church lying to him? The pastor should care about that, but he didn't. Yeah. Again, yeah. But that's the point. The people choose their path. And if you're choosing to sit on the fence, then you're choosing not to do things according to God. You're choosing to try and balance between the world and God. But therefore you won't have God. It's that whole thing that I've said before, and it's true. If you're in a church and you say you want God to come in, but you want God to come in according to the way you do church, God will never come in. It's all or nothing. The stupidity with all that is that God fully understands what people are able to take. Fully understands, because he knows you. He knows what you're able to take. So if you're thinking, God needs to understand how much we can take, you're a bloody idiot if you don't think that God knows already. So saying that means, excuse me, that's a stupid thing to say at the start, isn't it, really? But there you go. But there are people who say that, There are, well, in their own mind, not in necessarily to other people, but yeah. Well, some people do say it to other people, of course. Yeah. It's a difficult, very, very difficult and very, very sad situation, really, when it comes down to it. Not easy in any way, shape or form. No. Well, as I say, doing things according to God is a very lonely existence. Because, the white path, as I said, I was taught about this when I was very, very young as a believer, that the white path was very wide, very comfortable, and there were people singing and dancing and joyful and drinking and partying on that path because it was such an easy path. They loved it. Whereas the path to God was a more difficult, craggy path worsened. This path can be a bit trippy, but far, far worse than that. Where it was, had thorns, that would cut you. Areas where you will trip, where you will fall down. That's the path to God. And it's like, it's a bloody lonely path because there's hardly anyone there. Most of the people on the worldwide path. You hardly meet people on the right path. Hardly ever meet people on that path at all. So it's not an easy path to go. And I understand that. I'm not judging people for not going on that path. I understand why they don't. I understand completely why they don't. And for my existence, I understand completely why they don't. I'm here in this crummy, horrible, blinking flat that seriously would have been an area for storing wood for fires for the places above, years ago. And they thought, well, we can make it a flat and get money for it. But it's bloody tiny. It really is ridiculously tiny. I have a car that is pointing to God, but it found its MOT. A lot of people know from churches it found its MOT. No one gives a crap at all. Other people know are supposed to be friends of mine. No one gives a crap. Nobody has helped me to sort that out. Nobody has helped me to be able to drive the thing at all. Nobody. I have no money, nothing coming in. I have no friends that are willing to help. So, I understand. Would it be tempting if someone said to me, come and join this one, and you'll have all of that. You'll be in a better place. Somebody will actually help you to find a lovely place to live with a lovely garden, and they will help you to have money. They will give you money to sort out your car, to do all that. Because they will. If you're a people pleaser, Rob Hyam said to me, yes, if you do what people want, if you please people, when you need help, they're there. They help you. Well, they do. He's evident of that. He's now in New Zealand. In New Zealand, he's been given a home. He's been given cars. He's been given a dog. All the way through for years, he's always had vehicles to drive. He doesn't work in the sense of, how the world considers that. So he has no way, according to the world, of raising money. But he always has a big enough vehicle for their many, 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 many children. They always get fed. They always have a home to live in. Is that God doing it? I honestly don't know. I know that he has tapped into a spiritual thing. Maybe. Is he doing things according to the world as a people pleaser? Again, it looks like that. But is it a case where he's tapped into something spiritually? Whereas, yes, if you do things out of love, and you do things out of giving to people, then when people know that you're in need, they will give to you. That might be it. But I know, certainly at times initially, it was a case he was understanding it according to the world as well. If you please people, so if someone needs a job doing and you do that job and you don't take payment, you just say, don't worry, that's okay. Then when people have the ability to help you and you need help, they will help you because you've helped them. That's the situation, yes? Okay. Now, again, I understand that. I understand the temptation of doing that. As I say, I don't know. I don't know. As I say, I know with me, do I do things according to God now? Well, the answer would be quite simple. Better than I used to, but am I, doing well at that right now? No. No. I'm still struggling. So, yeah. I understand that it's quite likely Mr. Hyam, Rob, was someone who was trying to do things according to God, but was often doing things according to man in the past. So, yeah. But again, maybe there is something spiritual there. Because, yeah, can I say that there aren't spiritual ways that you could tap into? I can't say there aren't, but I would say that that's not the way that you should be doing things. But then again, I understand in my own walk that when people look at my situation and the fruit that's come in, they're going to say, yeah, right, we're not going to do things according to your way, are we? I understand that. Yeah. And so I understand why right now trying to do things according to God, according to his will, his ways, according to his nature, is very difficult. Yeah, that when that is the case, you don't seem to have an awful lot of people who are, wanting to help. And, this is the point. I understand why people try to do things in a way that's going to be pleasing to people, because the results can be good. Yeah, getting a pat on the back is nice. If you need a home and somebody provides you with a home, that's nice. If you need a car and someone provides you with a car, that's nice. If your car breaks down and they help you to fix it, they give you the money to sort it out, that's nice, isn't it? It's all nice. And Rob and Bianca have helped me in the past with stuff. Yeah, that's been nice when they have, yeah. But yeah, is it the case right now that, the last few years, having my dogs taken away, what support did I have during that time? None. When I was standing for 8 months, what support did I have at that time? None. But I understand. We'll put it this way. Again, only if I'm right about the fact that you can walk according to the nature of God, which right now, am I doing so? Not yet. I can say there's been a huge improvement, but am I doing it? Not yet. But if I'm right that that's the point, and that's what we should be doing, that we should be sons walking out the nature of Father, yes. And eating according to the tree of life, and obviously when you do that, there will be benefits that come from that, okay? Now again, do I know that those benefits are going to come? I don't, actually, and I think it's quite likely they won't. And the reason why I think it's quite likely they won't is because, if suddenly, if you had a load of people doing that, let's say 10,000 people, you had 10,000 sons of God walking out according to his nature, no longer eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, but eating from the tree of life, and walking in perfection, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that people will notice that. And right now, I don't think God wants that to be noticed. Well, because right now, he wants people to be choosing him because they want him, rather than because of, because they see that if they do things that way, they get those benefits, So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with regards to that. I think it is the case, put it this way, if the Lord comes down and there's going to be 1,000 years, during that 1,000 years, then obviously that would be seen. God's people will be walking things out according to his nature, will not be eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, will be eating from the tree of life. And so that will be the case definitely then, but before then, I don't know. Because we have nothing in the Word of God that suggests that in the last days that would be the case. Apart from Romans 8:18 onwards, talking about where creation has been waiting for the revealing of the children of God. And so therefore that's going to come in the latter days. And but apart from that, I don't know of anything else that suggests that would be the case. But then again, I'm just going by what I believe God has been saying to me. I can't go. I'm not a learned Bible studier. So there's a lot in there that I don't know yet. So there's probably loads of stuff in there that can answer that. Will you take care?